So, back from the VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Hitmontop. It's always going to have competition with Incineroar. Every single Pokemon that has Fake Out has competition with Incineroar, let alone having both Intimidate and Fake Out. But the nice thing about Hitmontop is that it beats Incineroar's 1v1. You're going to be slightly faster, most likely, with a higher base speed. You might need to speed creep a little bit more in case Incineroars are speed creeping each other even further, but this should be generally fast enough to be able to outspeed them. Then you get to go for a Fake Out in combination with a Close Combat with the Adamant Max Attack. Adamant Max Attack is necessary for this to guarantee that Fake Out and Close Combat would be able to KO an Incineroar that is as defensively invested as you would expect it to be. You wouldn't expect any higher than an Incineroar that survives the Surging Strikes from an Urshifu factoring in a Citrus Berry. And this combination of Fake Out into Close Combat KOs that, and if they are especially defensive Incineroar, Close Combat just OHKOs them, because you have the Clear Amulet. Clear Amulet stops you from being intimidated, so you easily beat the Incineroar 1v1 because they can't intimidate you, and then your Close Combat will still always do the massive damage. Then you get to do all your nice supportive stuff that Incineroar can't do. It used to be Helping Hand, now Incineroar has Helping Hand, but the main thing is Wide Guard. Wide Guard is something that Incineroar cannot do, and there are plenty of spread moves in the format. Things like Bleak Wind Storm, Hitmontop will be able to outstall a opposing Tornadus because they can't hit you with Bleak Wind Storm anymore. So things like that, Dazzling Gleams from Fluttermanes that would be just managing to KO the Hitmontop with one, can't do that anymore. You have to commit a Moonblast, and that frees up your partner. So the Hitmontop does have some nice things that Incineroar does not have. The fighting type can be very nice when you're not facing fairies. Like I said, it beats opposing Incineroars as well. So you'll be able to do some pretty significant damage with your close combat because you can't be intimidated. Here's other things that Hitmontop can do that Incineroar can't do. With the Assault Vest, you can be intimidated, so you won't beat Incineroars as easily, but 2 close combats will still KO them. And then you get to get some coverage in Bullet Punch with your Terra Steel. Like, Terra Steel is probably the best typing on Hitmontop anyway to resist Fairy, but also you'll be able to do even more damage with your Bullet Punch, and maybe get close to KOing a Fluttermane if it's taking a reasonable amount of chip. And then the other alternative move that I would recommend if it's Assault Vest would be Ice Spinner, because then somehow a fighting type Hitmontop is able to help against Psy Spam, because you'll be able to get rid of the Psychic Terrain as they try and set Trick Room. Obviously, this doesn't work against an Iron Crown, you just lose to that immediately, but against the Trick Room Psy Spam, you'll be able to Ice Spinner, and then hopefully you'll be able to stall out the Trick Room because they won't be doing as much damage as they could be. But you really just need the maximum amount of attack that Hitmontop can have, because otherwise you're not going to be able to be the counter to Incineroars that really Hitmontop needs to be, because that's its whole reason to use it over Incineroar in the first place.